Monoenergism. Monoenergism is one that you might not be aware of because this is the days of St. Maximus and the Sixth Council. And this is the idea that the human will has to be replaced, overridden, or irresistibly moved, and energetically, that there's only one energy present in the willing, and that namely is the divine will. There's no other way for men to be saved because man's will, naturally speaking, is in perpetual rebellion and movement away from God. So this is, of course, Calvinistic. It's also underlying a lot of Protestant theology, whether they know it or not. They don't have these sort of more nuanced distinctions that we have in our theology. But regardless, that idea is there, that God has to ultimately just kind of move your will so that you have a new heart, so that you're regenerated, so that you are effectually called. Now, we wouldn't have a problem with the divine energy and power becoming part of our being. It does. That's what theosis is. But what they don't understand is that there's a created energy and will that's proper to human nature, and there's the uncreated energy and will that's proper to the divine, and that there's a synergy. There's never a replacement of this. If there was a replacement of this, then we would be monothelites. We would be monoenergists, and we would affirm the Monophysite doctrine. We would have to, because we would affirm the idea that the divine power in the incarnation replaced and overpowered the human energy and will in Christ. But we don't teach that. We teach that Christ had a human will and energy that was naturally operant, and it was never replaced or destroyed or ceased, right? That's why you can't have the notion of grace replacing will. So in that sense, the monoenergist position is another aspect of the Calvinist Protestant view, which even if you're not a Calvinist as a Protestant, or even if you're a Lutheran, or if you're just some sort of evangelical who, I just had to pray and like God did it all, bro. Like that's still the same idea, you see. And it's really unclear in these sort of simplistic views as to, well, do you have to pray the sinner's prayer? Is that a work that you do? Is the work that you do the mental noetic action of having faith in Christ? Or is it actually having an intellectual understanding of the doctrine of sola fide itself that saves you? You'll never get a coherent answer from Protestants. You will get as many answers as there are Protestants. So none of these doctrines are at all applicable to us because we see them as variations on many of these ancient heresies, including libertarianism. By that, I don't mean the political philosophy. I mean the heresy that we'll see coming up pretty soon. It's a version of Gnosticism. It's a version of, it's just basically prelest is what we're going to say. So let's keep in mind that monoenergism in Christology, which we may not think is that relevant, is actually present today with us in a lot of erroneous Protestant views.